Grand Rising. Good afternoon. Black Power Hotel. Any greeting that suits you.
Black Power.
Welcome to the 7th annual Black Liberation Movement Elmer Geronimo Pratt Building Power Summit. Give you all self a hand. This year is a special year for the summit. The prior 6 years we've been having this summit in North Mississippi. This year we decided to move it to Jackson, Mississippi for specific purposes. Jackson is facing a lot of diametric opposition politically, environmentally, infrastructurally, and economically. So we decided to respond by bringing the Black Power Summit here to Jackson, Mississippi. So I think what we have assembled, although it may be few in numbers, we'll be having other people coming in today. I think we have assembled some of the strongest black people across the nation here in this room today. Give yourself another hand. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead on and get started with this because I think we're in for a great afternoon. We're gonna get started with a vocalist that's here by the name of Miss Pat. She's gonna open up with Lift Every Voice and Sing. Y'all give her a hand as she comes.
Good afternoon. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicings rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound high as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is done. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our people sigh. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from a gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast light and light, let us hold the right.
Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path
with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hands, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Free land. And I'm sorry I had a virtual mismarked words, but thank you.
That's great. That's great. That was a model example of what black people are supposed to do. Thank you. You see how she went down and we picked her up? You see how she went down and we picked her up? You see how she raised us up? You see how she got back on track? That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. That's why we're here. That's why we're here today. Listen here. Loosen your souls up today. Loosen up your souls today. Get your spirit right. You are in Mississippi. You are in Mississippi. The most overt racist place in the Western Hemisphere. And you're still here. And you're still here. You're the product of black people who have suffered tremendously. And you're still here. Not only are you still here, see, it's a special group of black people that's here today. As I look all across the top of and I look all through the seats. See, this is a special group of black people. That's why it ain't many. Because what we do, most black people not gonna do. What we do, most black people not gonna do. So you're special, and you're here for a very specific reason. It's to fight back. The reason is to fight back. So without further ado, what I want to do, and what always builds my spirit, is that we give libations to our ancestors. We pay homage and respect to those who have come before us and paved the way for us to stand here and do the things that we do and say the things that we say with the determination that we have. So one of my most respected elders is here, and I'm grateful for that. So Baba Omar Baludi is going to come forth and give us libations. Give him a hand. No, we don't have a plan, but we can work it out.
I don't have a libation cup, and the water that represents the ancestors, the spirit of the ancestors. But we need to pay libation to our ancestors. And we have to know where we came from. Because if we don't know where we came from, we won't know where we are, and we can't know where we're going. But those sacrifices that they gave to us is what's counting today. Our children need to know their ancestors. They don't know that the first people on earth was us.
That's right.
And they don't know that the last people on earth will be us. But let's go back and deal with our ancestors. Let's talk about our ancestors. When we look at the ancestors, we go back 66 trillion years because that's how long we've been here. They say that, the civilization started 6,000 years ago, but the oldest bones were found in Africa. They belong to an African woman, 2.3 million years old. And if you look around the earth, everywhere you go on the earth, the original people in every country on the earth was black. Every Chinese gets to be a black, gets to be a black. They swim there, gets to be there. Everywhere you go. The Icelandic people are still there. They're black. But everywhere you go, even in America, the oldest bone was found in Eugene, Oregon, to a black man, 11,000 years old. There were no white folks here, one of them Indians here. It was just us. Well, let's go back. And we talk about one of our ancestors. Khafre built the Great Pyramid. They call it one of the 8 wonders of the world because they still wonder how you build it. How you drag a stone that's 80 tons across the desert and put it into space. And it's a building, a pyramid that's 480 feet tall, taller than any building in the state of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
And it sits in the middle of the desert. It gets to be 110 degrees, but it stays a comfortable 68 degrees night and day with no central heat and no central air. But Khafre, who built the Great Pyramid, in his transition from this life to the life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And then we go to Imhotep. We say Hotep. Imhotep is a word that means peace, the one who comes in peace. This is the world's first recorded multi-genius. He was not only a medical doctor, he was also a priest, a writer, and an architect. Everything that Hippocrates learned from medicine, he gathered from Imhotep. He was doing surgery, and they thought he was Jesus because in the early days they had no pictures of Jesus. They thought he was Jesus, so they had a picture of him because he was making the lame walk, making the blind see. Imhotep. And Imhotep, in his transition from this life into life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And then we go to Khufu. Khufu built the Sphinx. This is a statue in the middle of the desert. 210 feet long, six stories tall. A statue that's got the body of a lion with the head of a black man. He wanted you to know who you were so you would understand that you will never be erased off of this earth. Napoleon saw the statue and blew his nose off because he saw a black man with an African nose. He didn't want nobody to know about that statue. But in his transition from this life to the life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
We go to Anne and Zinger, the warrior queen. They were trying to enslave her people, and she wasn't happy. And she created an army that beat every white person that came on her land. Queen Anne and Zinger, in her transition from this life into life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And then we go to all the African kings and queens on this earth. All of them. All of them that transition from this life into life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And then we come down to America. Our children should learn that history. But they got to get it from you. When they wake up in the morning, you should talk history to them. On their 18th birthday, make sure they learn that history. Because when you know who you are, when you know what you did, then you won't have any self-hatred anymore. And they have put self-hatred in us, and we hate ourselves so much, we go into killing ourselves. I just saw a witness a murder last night. As I was getting my sister's house, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Let me get that. Anybody that will witness, we're gonna let you get this. Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey, University of Negro and Creole Association, had over 2 million members, of which there was one that was the father of Malcolm X, Earl Little, and he was the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Over 2 million members, they put him in jail on trumped up charges. That's right. And when they let him out, they said, you leave the country, that's the only way you can get out. And the movement burst and broke up. Because he was waking people up. Earl Little, one of the followers of Marcus Garvey, Reverend Minister Earl Little, was run over by a train. But he was put there by a white vigilante mob. His wife went into a mental health institution. She couldn't take it. Malcolm went into foster care and ended up in the streets and then in jail, in prison. But when Malcolm met a man in prison that had met a man named Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm changed his mindset and changed his whole way of thinking about this world. But Malcolm was waking people up. And as a result, Malcolm was on the hit list. Benjamin Clark right now is suing the New York Police Department and the CIA for the murder of Malcolm X because it came out from one of the hitmen. They told him, if you tell anybody who killed Malcolm, we're going to kill your whole family. And so now, they're suing. up. This devil
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
will be coming after you.
Yes, sir.
And Malcolm, in this transitional this way, in the light everlasting, we sing our shame. His wife, Baby Shabazz, started waking people up.
Yes.
She died in a house fire. They said a 12-year-old son put gasoline on the house. And then Dick Gregory got a copy of the file report and it showed that it was put there by a military incendiary device that you can only buy if you're in the military.
Teach.
But they blamed her 12-year-old grandson. She was burned over 80% of her body and now she's dead 2 weeks later. Her grandson never confessed to no crime like that. But now he's murdered in Mexico at 26 years old. But in that transition from this life into life everlasting, we say Ashe. And then you go to our brother, Dr. Martin Luther King, was waking people up. He had met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And some of the things he did, he changed. And they had to kill him. Not just because he was for the poor people, but because he was against the war in Vietnam. And if you go look at the book by William Pepper, he says that the reason they killed him was not just the poverty, but because Lyndon Baines Johnson co-workers, partners were making money off the war, so he had to go. And then they blamed James Earl Ray. Judge Joe Brown was on the committee to review the evidence, and they said that was not the murder weapon, and James Earl Ray was not the killer. Killed by somebody from the Memphis Police Department. And somebody who saw him kill him, that cab driver, they murdered him the same day. He took call the police and said, I saw this man shooting at Dr. King. Our nurse who was in the operating room when they were about to do the operation on Dr. King. The surgeon told them to leave the room. And two star agents came in the room. And when they came in, this nurse lingered behind. She saw them cussing out, spit on his face, and then the doctor put a pillow on his face and killed him on operating table. Teach him.
Yes, sir.
But in this transition from this life,
That's right.
into life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And when Dr. King left us, just a few months later, his own brother, A.D. King, was murdered in a swimming pool at home. They say he drowned. His wife said he was in the swimming pool in his boxer short, like he just got out of bed. He had bruises around his neck and not one drop of water in his lungs. He was murdered. Anybody's gonna wake you up. Anybody.
Yes,
And
sir.
his audience is gonna wake somebody up.
Yes, sir.
You only hit this.
Yes, sir.
And in this transition from this life
Yes, sir.
into life everlasting, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
In our families, we have parents who are waking us up. And we have to give homage to those families and those parents that wake us up. When I was born, I was not born Omar Baruti. I was born Ed Scott Jr. But my dad woke me up.
Yes, sir.
He said there was a slave master that raped his great-grandmother and made her name the child after him. And then that child had a child, the slave master made her name the grandchild after him. And then he got named after him, and then I got named after him. And I'm thinking, I'm named after somebody that raped my great-great-grandmother? I ain't going there.
Yes, sir.
But once I woke up, and that was when I was 16 years old, I never went back to school. I want you to know that you have parents like that in your life. You should give them honor and respect. Because in that transition from this life to life everlasting, the mission was accomplished in both people. Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Ashe. Robert, move your hand. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. tell y'all something. I feel absolutely qualified to say what I'm about to say. Don't think you're gonna fight no liberation fight if you don't understand what he just said. Don't think you out here being some type of liberator and gonna fight against the racist, white supremacist social order and structure of America if you don't understand what he just said. I'm gonna identify you. I'm gonna identify you. If you fake, I'm gonna identify you. If you fake, I'm gonna identify you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because our children deserve real leadership. It's the reason why there ain't many people in this room, because we have identified what it is that we want to do. Black people understand that too. Black people understand that when black people make a certain determination to stay away from them. Okay? Black people understand that when black people make a certain determination, that most black people gonna stay away from them black people. You know how many people knew about this summit that are not here? You know how many fake leaders in Mississippi that knew about this summit that are not here? I'm going to identify you because I've been putting enough sweat equity into this to identify the fake ones that play a game with our people. I'm going to identify you. I don't play with what Bob Rudy just said. I don't play about our ancestors, Mike Payne or Moon. I don't play about that. It's serious, bro. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Where you come from? Houston, Texas. It's people in Jackson, Mississippi, bro. They knew about this summit. They claim that they with us. They're not here. I'm going to identify you. No more will they play about what it is that we're doing. We're removing fake leadership. We're removing fake leadership. I promise you that. I promise you that. Okay, we ain't got to worry about no time. We all right. Well, you have done your job. You have done your job, Cat. So we ain't worried about no time. We have had people that's supposed to be here that have bagged out on us at the last minute. Cat, we not worried about no time. We here. That's right. Oh, ancestors. Blacker than 1,000 midnights. African ancestors. It is to you who we, your children, give respect and honor. Oh, ancestors, we call upon you and we welcome you in this place. African ancestors, let your spirit fill this place. African ancestors who have been purposely omitted from the history books so that the world would not know of your greatness. Oh, African ancestors who gave civilization to the world. Oh, African ancestors who gave art to the world. African ancestors who gave music to the world, who gave science to the world, who gave mathematics to the world, who gave literature to the world, and the one I love the most, African ancestors who gave God consciousness to the world. We thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us. Rise up, O ancestors, and live in us. We will not fail you. We will honor you. We will respect you. We will hear you. And we will not betray you. I live on that. I stand on that. So without further ado, let's have a Black Power Summit. We have assembled some of the best people across the nation to be with us here in Mississippi today. Atop this beautiful room, we have some of my best colleagues from Time for an Awakening in Philadelphia, PA. They come all the way down here to do a live remote. Baba Elliott Booker and Baba Richard Wright. Give them a hand. We We also have, at the top of that roster up there, from African perspective, Brother Baba Oshi. Give him a hand. These are media people. And I forget my brother and my Baba name. Say it. Brother Kaku. Kwaku from Atlanta. Give that brother a hand. Thank you all for coming and being with us. Y'all are special to me because you keep us alive on the radio waves. You keep us alive. You keep the critical conversation going. I love listening to you. You have perspective, and I think all of us should be listening to them and tuning into them every time that they're on.